Coronavirus. Coronavirus. Oh, that is one of the best clips of Cardi B in my life that I always enjoy and just love hearing over and over in my head sometimes. She just sounds so ridiculous. But yeah, what's up, everyone? It's your boy, Matt Diazable, coming at you with a new music review. Thank you for coming on by. Today, I'm checking out the latest and probably one of the biggest releases of 2025, and that is the newest Cardi B album, Am I the Drama? For those who don't know, Cardi B is a female rapper based out of the Bronx, New York. And in the past 10 to 15 plus years, she has just gained so much momentum in her career as a rapper. Even though she didn't start off as a rapper, she first gained attention as a social media personality before getting on the TV show Love and Hip Hop back in 2015. And since then, she's just building more momentum for her celebrity status. She released her first single back in 2017 called Bodak Yellow, and that catapulted her into the music's like stardom because she started making music and got more attention. Then she made some really big chart hitting songs called like WAP, I Like It, and her first studio album, Invasion of Privacy, that dropped in 2018, won Best Rap Album of the Year and solidified her as one of the biggest rappers, female rappers in the game of modern hip hop. So she's a well-known personality, and with this latest album, there's been a lot of back and forth on it, whether she would drop it or not, whether she was like washed up or anything. She's been promoting it like crazy in very different ways, like in the subways of New York, on the streets, like at bodegas, like selling her stuff. So Cardi B is an always very interesting and funny person that has gotten a lot of influence all over the world, because even parts of like Korea out here, so many girls love her and just love her style. So she's got a lot of pull. And so her newest album, is it gonna like do the numbers as they say they would? It's saying it's like one of the top selling albums of all time. So I'm very intrigued to talk about this album, just dissect it a little bit. So let's get into it. Am I the Drama has landed and is here. And you can definitely tell that this is unmistakably Cardi B all the way. And with this latest album, it definitely highlights, the challenges of balancing ambition with consistency. And across 23 different tracks, Cardi is experimenting with so many different sounds on this record. From drill-inspired type of music to old school hip-hop vibes to slow R&B infused ballads. The end results are you get an album that is very bold, playful, and sometimes quite brilliant, but it's also very uneven. Because occasionally it's a little bit on the, I guess you could say, long runtime side. It does overstay its welcome sometimes because it is a really long album, and it's also weighed down by some underwhelming features and some pacing issues. The album opens up with the song Dead, which immediately sets a very dramatic tone with, talking about Cardi B in the news and just very violent things. It like uses a news style sound clip to really set the tone. And as the song really starts, the feature here, Summer Walker, comes in with her very soft vocals, providing a very almost atmospheric contrast to Cardi B's more aggressive delivery when she comes in. But even here, the beat occasionally feels a little bit too subdued compared to, Cardi's energy she's bringing here. And throughout this whole album, there's a tension between, her charismatic personality and just the overall production. There's moments on here where her, personality and wordplay kind of outpace the music at times. So it leaves some of the tracks on here feeling a little bit like unfinished or just half-baked and a little bit just on the okay side. The song Hello is a really clear example of that because it has some clever bars and some old school mixtape vibes to it and some playful rhymes, but are undercut by hooks that just don't quite, land as well. And the flows, they seem a little bit on the uneven side. Yet Cardi's knack for turning, nursery rhyme style wordplay into very savage humor, it remains like one of the highlights of this album that is quite consistent and downright pretty funny at times. The guest features she has on this album tend to be some of the best moments on this record. I was surprised by Selena Gomez's feature on this song, Pick It Up, because she's offering a very soft lullaby touch to the song, and Cardi's being her more aggressive, unfiltered self, and there's a nice balance there. And I'm just surprised to see Selena Gomez on a Cardi B album. I would never think those two would collab. While you have the song Safe featuring Kalina, I hope I'm saying that right. She's providing more of a warmth and a tenderness to the song compared to, Cardi's more deeper and quite beautiful vocal range here. Another feature on here, Lord Diz, I'm messing up these names, but try my best. On the song On My Back, she's bringing a very sensual and dark energy that complements the album's more intimate moments. And I gotta say, the female features on this album are really adding a lot of quality and just overall match Cardi's energy, if not elevate her. Like the guest features, all the females, for the most part, they're killing it on their features on this album. In complete contrast, the male features on this record are either very, kind of wasted, or they feel poorly executed. I think his name is Dougie F, the guy that's featured on the song Man of the Year. His auto-tune performance feels very, hollow and doesn't really add much to the song. If anything, it just feels really empty and shallow. Then you have Lizzo, which, not male or anything, but this is a feature that just didn't hit that well because she's on a song that's just reusing the famous song Hey Ya from Four Non-Blondes, and it's just a cut and dry copy of that song. And Lizzo in the later part of the song does add her own verse and style, but it just feels too stiff and rigid and just too much of a copy. But probably one of the worst and, mishandled features on this album is the song Principle that features Janet Jackson. As I was listening to the song, I was waiting for her to come in, but she never came in. And then I realized, was she just like the backing vocals during like the chorus and everything? And I'm like, you have Janet Jackson on a track and you just put her to backing vocals? It felt like very a slap in the face, very like, what are you doing? Like it didn't leave any impression. I wouldn't say slightly infuriating, but it was a little bit annoying that Janet Jackson got a little bit snubbed on this record a little bit. It's really sad that these features were not as good as the other features that were on this album. And if these ones were better utilized, the album could have been a lot better for sure. And the beat selection and the overall production for this album is another thing that is a little bit inconsistent. Tracks like Bodego Baddie and, Pretty and Petty are quite infectious with just how they sound. Either being very Latin inspired or have a very dark 80s like throwback vibe to them, they perfectly like just match with Cardi's energy and her aggressive flow. But then you have other songs like Time, Check Please, and Up that lean on, familiar formulas without really adding anything new or refreshing, leaving the listener a little bit on having a sense of fatigue because it's a 23 track album. So some of these songs, they just feel like they're a bit on the filler side and just kind of there. And some of the slower R&B kind of infused tracks, such as Imaginary Players and Shower Tears, drag a little bit as well, often overstretching the themes of heartbreak and betrayal that really dominate this album, especially the second half, which she's going through her motions. She want to get it all out. That's fine. But it does run into repetitiveness at times. And Cardi's wordplay and bars are quite clever, but they do start to feel a bit repetitive when she uses similar words over and over. And the tracks with the production lacking a punch to them, it kind of can get a little bit dull in some moments of the album. And the album's ending is a curious mix of fun and laziness because she's closing the album out with WAP, her big song featuring Megan Thee Stallion that came out in 2020. And as much of a playful and fun big hit it is, it feels like a cheap way to close the record, leading into like a nostalgic song and to boost your numbers a little bit because it's an older song and you're just kind of throwing on it after that song. It's been like 6 years, almost 5 years since that song was released and thrown on here. It's very, I'm very mixed about it because it's a great song, but it feels a little bit cheap. Despite its flaws, Am I the Drama has some moments that prove why Cardi B is still a force to be reckoned with in the music industry. Pretty and Petty, Better Than You, Bodego Baddie showcase her sharpest and probably most infectious energy, and her talent of mixing humor and just venom and aggression is pretty pretty good. She's navigating the themes of heartbreak, infidelity, and female empowerment with a very charismatic, big boldness to her. And while the beats, when they hit just right, her flow can carry the song very nicely. However, the album's, inconsistent pace, overlong tracks, and just underwhelming features at times really prevent this album from being, able to reach its full potential. So at the end of the day, Am I the Drama is fun, it's bold, and occasionally it has some brilliance to it. So if you're looking for something that's just fun to listen to and have a good time while, having some introspective moments, this might be for you. But like I said before, it's a little uneven and it can be weighed down by, moments of just fatigue because it is 23 tracks long. Trim some of the fat. This probably might have been a tighter project, but it's over an hour long. It takes a lot of time to get through. But I won't deny, her clever, personality, her wordplay, her energy, it's all on full display here. But it could have just benefited from a little bit of trimming here and there. More consistency and some better features here and there could have driven this album a little bit further. It's a record with some memorable highs on it, some notable moments, and some decent playfulness and aggression. And I think it's got enough punch and grit to it to warrant at least one listen. But at the end of the day, it could have been just sharper, it could have been more focused, and it could have been a little bit more consistently compelling. So overall, I'll give this latest album from Cardi B, Am I the Drama, an okay to decent 6.5 out of 10. Links down below. Tell me what you think about this album, what you think about Cardi B, and this review and everything. And until next time, guys, see you in the pit.
Good things about you.